You're bringing up all these great people that I know, and we started with Anthony, and now we're moving on to Jake Boyd, Loel Campbell. I mean, these guys are all big beauties and extremely talented, all in their own right. I think you and I had a little kind of a back and forth maybe the other night about Wintersleep and how amazing Lowell is. Oh my gosh, that untitled record, dude. Which I see, it's okay. Is that background behind you? Is that real or is it fake? Are those actually records on your wall?
These are real. So these are the 12 favorite albums of guests that have been on the show. So these are all people that I've interviewed. So with Wintersleep, I had their singer Paul on a few months ago, and Loel is confirmed to come early 2023 because he has new music coming out from one of his other bands, whether it's I don't know, he's in like 10 different bands, but there's new music coming from Loel. So he'll be coming up. So another person from that list. So we have Wintersleep as part of your indoor seas. So we're talking about Loel Campbell. We brought him up before. So recently I went to see Billy Talent and Rise Against at the same arena, the TD Place in Ottawa. And, Wintersleep, probably my all-time favorite band. 2 of their albums are in my top 10 albums of all time. So, I go see Billy Talent, and suddenly there's a drummer for Billy Talent that looks a lot like Loel from Wintersleep. And I'm like, this is strange. I'm like, I swear to God, that's Loel, but it doesn't make any sense because, there's Billy Talent's original drummer. Then there's Jordan Hastings from Alexisonfire that's been playing with them forever. So I'm like, it doesn't make sense. And then during this set, the singer Ben says, and please give a round of applause for our new friend Loel. I'm like, holy shit, Loel from my favorite band is playing with Billy Talent. Like, this is amazing. This is huge. So can you talk about Loel a little bit? So this guy's been playing your drums forever, right? Isn't he? Like, he just loves what you do.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how Lowell and I got hooked up. It's so funny. Yeah, I talked to Lowell. I talked to Lowell. I mean, it's been, a long time. I was again one of those things where I feel like I had a couple mutual friends, got his number, added him on Facebook, and just that was a big thing. Like back when I started this, I would just send drummers. I would figure out their name, find them on Facebook, and send them a message. Be like, hey, next time you're rolling through Ottawa, can I bring you some drums to try out? But yeah, basically became really, really tight with Lowell. Built him a drum kit, got him sorted with a bunch of drums on travel dates and stuff as he bounced around from Wintersleep to Matt Mays. And then this Billy Talent thing that popped up, he called me one day. He was like, hey, he's like, don't tell anyone because it's not public information, but I'm going to be drumming for Billy Talent. He's like, the band hasn't made any announcements yet. And I was like, yeah, I was like, cool. I'm like, and I kind of, I knew I had just done some stuff in the studio, Alexisonfire. I don't know how this all came to be, but I knew that Alexisonfire was getting going again. So I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen with Beard, Jordan Hastings, with his scheduling, between Alexis and Billy Talent. So yeah, Lowell called me and was like, hey, he's like, I'm going to be filling in on drums for BT. And I was like, dude, that's rad. He's like, yeah. He's like, I need a different YC kit for this gig. I need some bigger drums than the YC kit that I own. And I was like, yeah, no problem. And we hashed it out. And I knew the BT guys, specifically Ian, from working on the current record, Crisis of Faith, drum teching in the studio with Ratbeard. And Ian reached out to me. He's like, hey, Jordan, thanks for being on board to build Lowell a new kit. This is what we were thinking. And that was literally, between Ian and myself designing the kit that everyone's been seeing on the road lately, which is this white kit, but with this creamy pink hardware, which I had never done colored hardware outside of a plating color. So either black chrome or brass plated or just, straight up chrome plated. And for years, I kind of always like strayed away from like, I wouldn't let, if people were like, oh, like, can I get powder coated hardware in blue? I'd be like, I don't do powder coating. But literally, Ian twisted my arm enough to be like, hardware needs to be pink. And yeah, that's literally how that kit came to be. And yeah, dude, Lowell's my guy. And all the time, I have conversations with other drummers about that untitled record, which is to your right, I guess. There you go. I was like, to my left, to your right. Computer screen cameras going on here. But dude, the drum tone on that record. So this cat, Lawrence Curry, produced it. Who Lawrence doesn't live far from me. He's an East Coast guy, but he actually lives kind of just outside of Guelph now. The drum tone on that record is incredible. Lowell's playing is insane. And one of my first interactions with Lowell, I was like, dude, like I gotta talk to you about the Untitled record. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, a lot of people, talk about that record. He goes, what's funny about that is the drums I used on that were like, it's like a piece of shit drum kit with the drum heads were like busted. Everything I'd ever thought about drums went out the window that day. I was like, dude, why the fuck? I've spent so much money buying gear and pacing tones for years, and you got to come in here and tell me one of my favorite drum tones of all time is a beater. I think he said it was like a Pearl starter kit, entry level drum kit.
That's how good the player is, right?
I
That's
know,
crazy.
I know. No, seriously, man. And dude, that Insomnia drum groove, every time that song comes on, oh my gosh, just takes you away, man. Seriously.
I always say my 3 favorite albums of all time are Rage Against the Machine, self-titled debut in 1992, Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here, and this album, Wintersleep Untitled. Those are my 3 favorite of all time. So
all great drum tone records.
Yeah.
All great drum tone records.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not a drummer?
I'm a lover of music, man. I actually, obviously I can't play drums, but having, audio engineering background, and having great studio speakers in front of me, great studio headphones, there's nothing better than just geeking out and listening to music. And when there's great drum tones, like, man, we're in the middle of talking about Wintersleep and Billy Talent. The connection between the two is Loel, who's played with both. And I have some kind words from Loel Campbell here for you.
Oh, no.
And Loel, so Loel, this is important because we wouldn't be here today doing this interview if it wasn't for Loel, because it was during the Jake Boyd interview that he shared a story saying he played at Hope Beach Volleyball in Ottawa, and
classic
him and another band had just played, and Wintersleep was the headliner. So so Colorado and someone else played, and then the 2 drummers got together and they were feeling really good about themselves, about their sets. And they were like, yeah, man, we killed it. Like, we were so good. And then Wintersleep played, and both of them saw Loel, and they're like, oh, fuck, there's levels to this game. So that was the story that he shared. And then we started talking about our love of Wintersleep. And that's where I sent you the video, because he said, oh, well, if you like Loel, the guy that does his drums is also from Ottawa. So Loel, without knowing it, ties everything we're talking about ties back to Loel, a story with Jake Boyd. So here are some kind words from Loel. And what I'm getting at, after the long quote from Anthony Carone of the Arkells, and this is a very long quote from Loel Campbell, is people actually care. They're not phoning it in when they give these quotes. So sit back.
I would have thought Loel, just knowing Loel and his humor, he would have, like, when you say like, oh, Loel like said something nice about you, I got a quote here from Loel about you. I feel like Loel would be like, he's a fucking beauty. He's a fucking beauty. Like, that's that. So I'm ready for this.
So to be honest, when I message him, it's usually pretty short answers. But
me too.
When it comes to you, this guy's got a lot to say. So this is from Loel Campbell. He says, Jordan is so great. He's helped me out a ton. Jordan's enthusiasm, passion, and excitement are truly contagious. I remember the first time I met him in Waterloo. He had made some drums for me and dropped them off at the club. It actually might have been a kit I was borrowing while he built mine. We went to his shop and just talked drums all day, and it was so refreshing and comforting to have met someone so invested in the craft. This was just before we released The Great Detachment, I believe. I was touring a lot of my vintage kits through my career just because I couldn't find a modern kit with the same character. Enter YC and Jordan. He has me covered with whatever I've been after. Wintersleep and beyond. Talk to him about the custom Billy Talent kit he made. So we've been over that for this album cycle. It's a work of art. I'm lucky to have him looking after me. He's someone with impeccable taste that I truly trust when it comes to drums and the greater umbrella of music industry staples. Hope you have fun with the chat. Loel Campbell, Billy Talent, Wintersleep. There you go.
Oh, what a guy. I'm surprised you didn't mention the times that we've been drunk together.
He made a PG-13. He doesn't know who our audience is, I guess.
There you go. No. Lowell, you know what? I can't. I mean, I feel like you and I could probably talk for 2 hours about Loel Campbell. I love Lowell to bits and pieces. That's what a kind guy. And yeah, and I will say Lowell is a lot of fun to go hit the town with. He's from the East Coast, you know?
Yeah. So back when I was playing in a band a long time ago, Wintersleep was already my favorite band. So back in like 2004 is when I got into Wintersleep. In London, there was a bunch of East Coast boys in my class, and they kept talking about this Wintersleep band that had this breakout song called Orca. So this is like way at the beginning. And anyways, back in Ottawa, I saw Wintersleep was playing Zaphods, and normally Zaphods, there's two openers. That's how they do it. There's two openers, a headliner, they're done by 11, then it turns into like a nightclub. And I see it's just Wintersleep, and I'm like, that's weird. There's room for two openers. So I reach out to Eugene, the owner, and I say, look, I got to get on this bill. He's like, no, it's just Wintersleep. I'm like, dude, you have room for two more. I'm like, I'll sell 100 tickets. Like the venue only fits like 200 people. I'm like, I'll sell 100 tickets. I'll bring all the money in an envelope. It's in like 5 days. Like you can't lose here. He's like, all right, kid, you're up. I was like, sweet. So it was like the best day of my life. So my band opened for Wintersleep. And when we're sound checking, I'm sharing with the band members that they're my favorite band, and this is amazing. And at the end of the night, when everything's done, so I let them know that my favorite song is called Listen, Listen, Listen from the Untitled album. It's later on. And they come out, they haven't played the song. They do the encore. They say, we have one song left. This is for our new friend, Joel. They play Listen, Listen, Listen. And then in the parking lot, when the show is done, everything's done, I walk up to Loel, who just met me for the first time. And I go to pull my hand out and say, hey, man, like this has been the best night of my life. He pushes my hand away and bear hugs me. And I'm 5'5". He's probably 6 something. And he's
got to be at least 6'3". Yeah.
He just engulfs me in this bear hug. And that might be the best moment of my life. So that's my history. First time meeting Loel.
Okay. I got a couple questions.
Okay.
Did you actually sell the 100 tickets, or did you just put money in an envelope?
I probably sold between 80 and 90 tickets, so I got close. And to me, it wasn't.
Did you hand Eugene the money for 90, or did you
100
the last 10?
That was
okay, cool.
Yes, I'm a man of my word. 100 sold. Hey. It would be this much money. I gave an envelope, and it was exactly what I said I would do.
Yeah.
That's why I was on the bill, because of my promise. And dude, I can put in a few hours work somewhere and pay off the extra tickets, and right? We're going to sell merch. Yeah. We're going to whatever, so.
My other question is, did your, because obviously you would have sold to a bunch of your friends that would have came to see your band, right? Did they do the classic, like, I feel like this is like an Ottawa thing where like opening bands will like come to see their friends' bands and then leave, or did they stick around, and like, was it like a wild Wintersleep show?
It was amazing. It
Awesome.
was packed. Like it was probably sold. It was awesome. It was like the best.
Hell yeah.
They played amazing. It, like that night, I should just like sit down and meditate on that night once a day. And then my mental health will go up through the roof. Everything will be great. I should probably latch onto that. I haven't thought about that moment probably since then. So maybe that's the best part of these interviews, is just reminiscing about
big time.
Yeah.
You know what? In 2000, I would have I would love to take a time machine back to that show. It sounds awesome. I had a lot of great times at Dave Fonz, man. A lot of great times.